Hey, awesome athlete. My name is Mandy Patterson, owner of Mandy Patterson Coaching, and your mental performance coach for today. Tryouts are right around the corner. I don't need to tell you that. You already know that because you're here watching this, and I'm sure you're feeling the pressure. So, for cheerleading tryouts, the timing could not be worse. It is right after competition season, which means all competition season, you have been working hard to perfect those routines. You probably haven't had time to work on your individual skills. Or if you have, you're pulling double duty, right? You're working on getting your skills ready for competition, or working on getting ready for competition, getting your routines ready, and also trying to work on your skills because you know tryouts are right around the corner. So we end with the competition pressure, and then the full blown tryout preparation begins. So there's really not a lot of time to prepare, but it's already on your mind, and you're probably already feeling that pressure, feeling that ticking deadline looming around the corner. And you're here. You want to be confident and ready for those tryouts. You don't want to dread them. You don't want that pressure to just stay with you from now until then, because you know you've probably tried out already with that type of mindset and that type of pressure, and it's just not helpful. It really doesn't set you up for the best experience. And there's just a lot with tryouts that isn't very fun. So you're here hopefully to learn some new tools, techniques, and tricks to make tryouts more fun. And as a mental performance coach, I have the tools and techniques and all of the awesomeness to share with you to help you do just that. So welcome. Welcome to the Confident and Ready presentation today. So how to mentally prepare for tryouts. My name is Mandy Patterson, as I said before. I was a competitive cheerleader growing up, and I love cheerleading. It is my sport. It is my passion. But I struggled a lot. I was so perfectionist. I wanted every little thing to be exactly right all the time. I had really high expectations for myself, and I never wanted to disappoint anybody. I feared rejection. I didn't want my coaches to be mad at me or my teammates to be mad at me. And I wanted to fit in. I wanted to be a part of a team. And when it comes to tryouts, all of that came bundled together and just created this really stressful experience. I remember every single season, between seasons, I would question, do I want to do this again? Is it worth competing again? Do I want to try out again? Am I good enough to try out? I dealt with mental blocks and struggles in several different skills of mine throughout my entire career. And I felt like tryouts, if that, it always kind of started around the competition season because of all the pressure and the stress with comp season, my skills would become a little bit more difficult. And then I knew tryouts were right around the corner, and I didn't think I would be ready. And so that I really struggled with that growing up. And it never really got easier. Every single season, I continued to try out. My love and passion for the sport, it held strong, and I never gave up. I kept with the sport and competed all the way through college on scholarship at a D1 college competitive university, which was so awesome. It was a great experience, but it was very stressful. And I dealt with a lot of pressure and just not fun decision making in some really critical times throughout my young life. And I am here to teach you tools, techniques, and tricks so that you can prepare your mindset, you can be confident and ready, and you don't have to go through that same pain and pressure that I went through as an athlete. So that's really why I put this together for you today. So let's talk a little bit more about that. So here we go. Let me get my presentation going here. So we're going to talk about how to mentally prepare for tryouts. So very first thing I want you to do before we dive into anything else today is to click below and grab that worksheet. So I have a special worksheet prepared for you to help you not only learn some new things, some mindset shifts, and to learn more about yourself and how your patterns of thinkings are either setting you up for success at tryouts or leading to not so good outcomes, right? Our thoughts are that powerful. So today I'm going to give you all kinds of awesomeness and some ahas and great things to think about, but I want to do more than that. I want to help you take action on the different tools and techniques that you're learning today. The worksheet is going to help you do that. It's going to help you personalize this content in a way that's really helpful for you. So be sure that you click the button below and grab that. So next, are you ready? So a few housekeeping items before we jump into the content today. I want you to be here with us. Don't be looking at your phone. Don't have the TV on. Just be here looking at the presentation, listening to the things I'm saying, and asking yourself, how does this apply to me? There's no judgment today. So if I talk about challenges with skills or mental blocks or fears or making the team or not making the team, if you have experiences that just make you on the inside feel like, oh, like I don't feel good about that. Like that makes me nervous or fearful or whatever. We're going to push that aside. There's no judgment, right? If you're struggling with a skill right now and you are worried that you're not going to have it in time for tryouts, there's no judgment. There's no negative feelings. There's no pressure to have to be perfect and have to have all your skills exactly today, which we're going to talk about. But any of those negative feelings that pull up, just acknowledge them, notice them, and just let them go away. Let them pass. All right. Ask yourself, how does this information apply to me? I want this to be really helpful for you. So if I talk about a mental block and you're not struggling with that, just tweak the information in a way that's really applicable for you. Everyone can get so much goodness from this training today, whether you're a parent, an athlete who is just getting started out, or you've tried out for the last 10 plus years, right? There's so much goodness you can learn from today. So ask yourself, how does this information apply to me? Parents, if you're here sitting, watching this with your athlete, thank you so much for supporting them and giving them the tools to thrive in this crazy competitive sport. However, be there, be a supporter, let them lead today. So guide them if they have questions, help them understand the different concepts that I'm explaining today, give them examples and things to think about, and absolutely ask amazing questions to help them figure out how to personalize this in a way that's really helpful for them. But try your best. Don't do it for them. Don't answer questions that they don't ask you. Don't give them additional feedback and things to think about unless, again, they ask you for that additional clarification or support. And always, if you do have things that you want to share with them, the best way to do that is to ask really powerful questions to get them to create their own thoughts and ideas and beliefs about the things that are important to them. That's the best way you can support them today. And finally, set an intention for our time together. Why are you here? Are you here just because someone's making you? Maybe a coach has pulled this up or your mom put this on the screen and it's like, hey, sit down and watch this thing. But I want you to take a second. I want you to think about tryouts. How do you feel about tryouts? If you're not jumping for joy, so excited, fully ready, and know that you're going to do amazing, and no matter what happens, it's going to be the best day ever, then there is something you can gain from today. So I want you to think about, what would that be? What would you want to be different about this tryout compared to any others? So go ahead and take a second to think about that. And if you want, write that on your worksheet somewhere, just so you have it down. All right, so next, here's how you know if you are in the right place today. If you struggle with key skills and you're questioning if you're falling too far behind to keep going, do you feel that pressure building as tryouts get closer and worry that you don't have your skills in time? Or you know you've worked hard, but that doubt and dread and those what ifs, all that negative stuff that's happening in your head, it's really getting in the way of you feeling your most confident for this upcoming tryout. You can't shake the fear of not making the team, and you wonder if trying out is even worth it. So if you've got any of those things, or if anything I have said so far today has hit home, you are absolutely in the right place, and I'm very, very glad you're here. Here is what you're going to get today. So we're going to cover how to get confident and ready for tryouts. You're going to learn 10 tryout mindset mistakes that keep you stressed. So there are 10 things that, at least 10 things, but 10 we're going to talk about today. 10 beliefs that athletes hold to be so true that actually get in their way, no matter how helpful or true or real that they seem. So we're going to uncover those for you today. And what to do instead. I'm going to give you some additional really helpful and healthy beliefs that you can use to replace those unhelpful ones. So who am I? I already shared that with you, a little bit about my journey, but I'm a mental performance coach. I help athletes push past mental blocks and fears so that they can really achieve their best self. I help them rediscover their passion, push through those fears, and ultimately regain their passion for the sport that they love. I am a mental coach. I help athletes build those mental game skills like focus, confidence, pushing past mistakes, how to handle nerves and anxiety, how to get ready to perform, and how to unlock all of your hard work. So you work so hard in the gym on your physical skills. Your mental game is the thing that unlocks those skills when you need it most. If you have the most beautiful tumbling in the world, but you get to tryouts and you're so nervous that you're going to mess up, that you're not throwing your skills, it really, at the end of the day, like that's when you want to shine, right? That's when it matters that you have those skills, is when you need to and you want to show them off. Your mental game ensures that you are confident, you trust yourself, and you can perform your skills when it matters most. Today, we're talking about at tryouts. All right, so here's a few fun facts about me. I'm a certified mental game coaching professional. I am the founder and owner of Mandy Patterson Coaching. I have an amazing team behind me that supports all of our amazing athletes in our Block Breaker Circle community. We have our Mind Over Mental Block program, which is for athletes, so specifically cheerleaders and gymnasts, more performance sports that are dealing with mental blocks in their skills. We also have our Block Breaker Circle, which I mentioned. That is our band app. That is our private athlete community. And we've got some amazing parents in there as well. But this is where we come together and we support all of the amazing athletes in our coaching programs. Mental performance coach, cheerleaders, gymnasts, that's my specialty because that's my passion and my background. And I really just want to help you reach your full potential. That's why I'm here, and that's what I'm here to do. So let's get into the content for today. I want to teach you 10 mindset mistakes that are going to block you from being confident and ready for tryouts. Let's talk about the first one right now. All right. This is a big tryout. It will be tough, and I'm not sure if I'm ready. So this is a big one. So let's talk about fear for just a second. Okay. So fear is sometimes it almost feels like this thing. It's like a sign that something bad is going to happen, but that's not true at all. Fear is your brain's way of keeping you safe. Your brain's job is to keep you safe. And it does that by focusing on potential dangers, potential things that can go wrong, or ways that you can mess up, or things that could happen that you don't want to happen. That's what your brain automatically focuses on. So when it comes to tryouts, the thing that your brain might latch onto is the fact that, oh, I'm not sure if you're ready. I'm not sure if we can do this. This is a big deal. This is a new level. This is a new team. This is maybe you're going from middle school to high school, right? This is a big opportunity, and I'm not sure I'm ready for this. Okay. If you have those patterns of thinking, you're not going to be your most confident self. You're going to be fearful and timid and nervous leading from now all the way up into tryouts. And you're going to show up that day and you're not going to be able to perform the way that you want to, because that fear is going to hold you back a little bit. Okay, you know that to be true. You've had experiences where fear has probably gotten in the way of your confidence more than it needed to. So something I want you to consider for this. Remember, this is a thinking error. Okay, this is a mindset mistake. What that means is it feels kind of true. And you can see how, yeah, I kind of think this way, right? But at the end of the day, this is not true. Okay, you're ready for this moment. So for example, if you are going from middle school to high school, you are not a middle schooler trying out for high school. You are a rising high schooler trying out for high school. You're prepared for this, right? Same thing if you're going from level 2 to level 3. If you are if you are trying out for that level, it means that you're there. You're ready for that, okay? You're showing up. You have experiences that have groomed you and prepared you for this moment. Sometimes it feels like we're standing still while our circumstances get bigger and more difficult, but that's not true at all. As your circumstances get more challenging, you get stronger and you get more prepared and you have more challenging experiences, which strengthens you inside and out, right? So if you feel like this, if you're like, oh, it's big, oh, it's high school, it's going to be tough, the competition is going to be so fierce, right? This is a big deal. Sometimes that can feel a little overwhelming and it's not motivating. It's actually going to hold you back. If that is you and you are feeling that pressure, I'm going to give you permission to let go of that. Okay. This is a mental mistake. This is something we don't want to be thinking about. We want to replace it with something more helpful. I'll give you some examples of things to replace it for at the end of our time together today. But for now, I want you to accept you are ready for this moment. It is not too big for you. Okay. You are absolutely tough enough. Okay. And you can do this. All right. So let's talk about the next one. Everyone else is so talented. I am not good enough. Everyone else is so talented. Yes, they are. But so are you. All right. Let's first talk about how this can get in your way. Okay. Because it's good. Like, oh, wow, look at all this competition. Everybody's so awesome. And that means that this is going to be a really good team next year. That's a good thing, right? But sometimes what happens, especially if you're struggling with skills, maybe it's a mental block or maybe it's something else, but sometimes we allow our challenges to tell us that we're not good enough, okay? Or if there's someone near us that's doing a particular tumbling path that we are still working on or that we're struggling with, sometimes if they have it, we take that to mean that there's something wrong with us or we're not doing what we're supposed to do, right? We're supposed to be throwing a round of handspring tuck. So if they're doing it, then that means they're going to make the team and I'm not. All right. I want you to think about that. So again, maybe that's something you're struggling with today. So I'm going to tell you, this is not actually true. I know it feels true, but it's not. Okay. Sometimes we think there's only 2 spots, right? And you look around, and it's like, oh, they're better than me. That means I'm not going to make the team. That is not even true. We're going to talk about in a little bit. You are not responsible for making decisions for the coach, right? Your job is to show up and focus on the things that help you do your best, and paying attention to the skills everyone else has is not going to be helpful for you. I want you to take a second and I want you to appreciate the things that are unique to you, the strengths that you have that maybe no one else does. There's a quote that I absolutely love, and I'm going to read it to you. While you are busy doubting yourself, someone else is admiring your strength. Okay? They're probably doing the same thing to you that you're doing to them. All right? You're worried about what they bring to the table. They're worried about what you're bringing to the table. So why don't we just stop worrying about everybody else? The talent of others has nothing to do with you, and it says nothing about what's going to happen with the tryout. So choose to put some blinders on, and let's just focus on the things that are going to help you do your best. We can help you with that, help you figure out what that is. All right, the next one. I have to have every skill on the tryout sheet or I won't make the team. All right. So sports like cheer and gymnastics and those performance sports, they feed perfectionism. They create all these little perfectionists that believe that I have to have every single skill, right? Because it's all on the score sheet, and every single person on the mat pretty much has to do every single thing. It's not like baseball where you can just hit the ball really well or pitch really well. Like in cheer and gymnastics, unfortunately, it's kind of this idea that you have to be good at everything and you need to do really difficult skills. And those skills that are really difficult, you need to make them look easy, and they need to be beautiful and flawless, and you're going to be critiqued on them. And if you make a mistake, you're going to get deductions. That is what we are taught. Hit 0, right? That's what we're told going into competition. That's a conversation for another day, but that I'm not a fan of that phrasing. Okay. That literally means no mistakes. So you're trying to motivate athletes going into competition, which is really big, with by focusing them on not making mistakes. Just so you know, our brain ignores the not, and we hear mistake, mistake. That's why a lot of athletes are way too anxious about competition. But again, that's a conversation for another day. Maybe in the fall, we'll do a challenge or a webinar on competition. If you're interested in that, let me know in the comments below. Okay, so let's stay on the topic. Like I said, notes to keep me on track because I tend to go off on tangents when I get really excited. But cheer and gymnastics, they create this perfectionist mindset. And we feel like, oh no, if I don't check every single thing on the scorecard or on the tryout packet, I'm not going to have a chance. But the truth is that you don't know what they're looking for. You don't know what kind of qualifications they need for their team, or what kind of what they're going to base their decision at the end of the day on. All right. So I want to make sure that you are not getting distracted by thinking that you have to be perfect. Okay. Because you don't. There are very, again, unique things that you bring to the table that no one else has. Right. So if this is holding you back and getting in your way and causing you to be filled with pressure, I'm giving you full permission to just stop. You don't have to worry about this. You do not have to have every single skill on the tryout sheet, because you know what? If you feel like you have to and you feel that pressure and you're trying to work on your skills at practice and you don't have them today, it's going to be very hard for you to improve and practice and grow and strengthen in those areas to be prepared for tryouts if you think you have to be perfect, right? Give yourself permission not to be perfect, and then just focus on making every single practice leading up to tryouts the best it can possibly be. Okay. One of the things we love to do for our athletes is help create practice plans and mindsets around each practice so that they can stay committed and really track progress, which ultimately builds their confidence. So if this is something that you're struggling with, I'm giving you full permission just to let it go. All right, next, 4th, tumbling's the only thing that matters. Okay. As we already said before, this sport, unfortunately, it is very tough because everyone's on the mat. Everyone's doing all the things, right? Cheer, some chant, stunts, tumbling. Sometimes it can feel like if you don't have every single thing or you're struggling in one area, that means that you're not going to be good enough. But that is actually not true. I want you to consider for just a second. So if tumbling is something that you are currently struggling with, sometimes what happens is when we're struggling in an area, so maybe it's one skill, a tuck, standing tuck is a struggle. Over time, sometimes what can happen is we allow that to affect us and how we feel about things outside of just that one skill. So it goes from I'm struggling with this particular skill to actually I'm not that great of a tumbler, right? And then that bleeds over into I'm not a good cheerleader, which can then unfortunately bleed over sometimes into I'm just not good enough, right? And that's really heartbreaking. And if that is somewhere where you feel you find yourself, I would love for you to schedule a free session with us so that we can support you. And if you're interested in learning more about that, just let me know in the comments. But yeah, absolutely. It can feel like tumbling is put on the pedestal and is the most important thing. I can assure you, everything else matters. Everything matters. Everything is important. Again, you don't know what type of positions they need for stunts. You don't know how amazing you are at jumps and the other areas that you have worked really, really hard to improve in. You don't know how much that is going to count for the judges and the coaches and the decisions they're going to make. You have no control over the coach's decisions. So let's just not even put pressure on ourselves to do that today. Okay. Tumbling is important, but it's not the only thing. All right. So here, one of the things that I want you to think about is that you can still, even if tumbling is a struggle for you, okay, you can absolutely still be an amazing tumbler, an amazing cheerleader, and an amazing person that they want on their team. All right. So this is a thinking error. Don't let it get in the way of your confidence for tryouts. Next, all right. If I obsess over being perfect, I'll make the team. So two quick things. You cannot control making the team. Okay. So it is a complete waste of energy to focus on making the team. Okay. It's not in your control. Also, being perfect, I want you to think about how much control you have over that. No matter how hard you prepare and how much you practice and all the things you do from now until tryouts, it is still completely outside of your control to be perfect because things happen and we're human and that's okay, right? Things are going to happen and there's no rhyme or reason for it sometimes. So you do not have control over being perfect and you do not have control over making the team. So putting pressure on yourself to do those two things is not going to be helpful. It's going to fill you with pressure and that is going to make it harder for you to make those practices that you do have left until tryouts really count and really help you feel super confident for the day of. All right. So this type of thinking goes right along with expectations and perfectionism. And what happens to your confidence when you prioritize or you set a goal of being perfect and expecting certain skills to happen and expecting to make the team? When that happens, what you're doing is you're setting an all or nothing mindset. So basically it's you make the team or it's a fail. You do the skill or it's a fail. You're perfect or it's not good enough. With that type of thinking over time, what happens is you lose your ability to appreciate your progress and you're going to struggle. Your confidence is going to go down. And I'm not trying to scare you, I'm not trying to put anything else in your head to worry about. But the athletes that we work with mental blocks and challenges with anxiety and fears and really having challenges with their skills, it is all because of a buildup of pressure and fear. And a lot of it comes from those expectations and that perfectionism. So I'm going to challenge you to really consider if this is something that you hold to be true for you. And if it is, I'm going to challenge you to let it go and to choose not to let it get in your way for now, for tryouts, and in the future. So these are not in your control. Let's replace focusing on things you can't control with things that you can control. All right. And that is one of the things that we help you do. Next, I have to make the coaches like me. All right. So let's talk about responsibilities. You are not responsible for your coach's emotions. You are not responsible for your coach's decisions. Okay. You absolutely are only responsible for a few things. You're responsible to show up and focus on the things that help you do your best. All right. Can you control if the coaches like you or not? No, you cannot. All right. But you can focus on pieces of the skill that are going to help you put you in the best position to do them successfully. You can focus on your attitude There's so many more things that you can focus on, that you can control, that are going to be really helpful for you to do a good job on tryouts. Okay, on the day of. Your coach, what is their responsibility? To make decisions that are best for the team. You're not going to understand what those decisions are all the time. Sometimes it's not even helpful to ask or to think about why the decision was made. Okay. But I want you to just understand their job is to make decisions. You know what your job is? To show up and do the things and focus on the things that help you do your best. Because guess what? That's what's best for your coach. And that is going to put them in the best possible position to look at you very favorably, to be excited that you're there to try out. But if you're worried about the coach and if they like you or not, and if they're watching you or not when you're throwing your skills, you're going to be distracted and you're not going to focus on the things that are going to help you do your best. Okay. You're going to be worried about your coach. You're going to be distracted while you do your skills, and they're not going to go the way that you want them to. So choose to let this one go. All right. Next one. If I don't make the team, it means I'm not good enough. All right. Let's talk about this. This pattern of thinking, it is going to cause you to have so much pressure and fear from now leading up to competition. That's where that response of, are you ready for tryouts? No, I'm nervous. That's where that comes from. Those nerves, that anxiety, that dread that you feel, not wanting to try out or being really anxious about trying out, not being excited and motivated. Okay. You want to be confident, excited, and motivated going into tryouts. But if you're thinking about a negative outcome while you're trying to prepare and do all of those things, it's not going to happen. Right. So the truth is that you're an athlete. That is something that you do. That is a piece of who you are. And you are a lot of different things. Athlete is just one of the roles. Cheerleaders, I know it feels like your whole life, but it is just one thing that you do. Okay. It's one piece of who you are. It's not completely who you are. So no matter what happens, you are still an amazing human, an amazing person, and you can still do amazing things no matter what the outcome is. Right. So let's not tie our self-worth and our self-esteem to our outcome in our sport. Okay. That's very tricky and that's very dangerous. So we're not going to do that today. So be very careful with this one. All right. The next one. If I have a mental block or I struggle with a skill, I shouldn't try out. So I want you to think back when we talked about I have to have every skill on the scorecard or I shouldn't try out. This goes along with that, but it's a little bit different because mental blocks are tough. There's so much negativity around blocks and struggles. Okay. But I want you to consider something. So sometimes it can feel like if you're dealing with a mental block, that something's wrong or you're not doing what you're supposed to. But you know what the truth is? What if it's possible that a mental block can actually make you a stronger athlete? So think about you have two people trying out and one person, and I know we don't want to compare, but I just want to put this in a way I want to challenge your thinking on this because this is a belief that a lot of athletes hold to be so true. Okay. But I want you to think about something. You have two athletes in front of a potential coach. There's one athlete who's never had a single struggle. It's been smooth sailing. Everything has been just easy for them. They just go in and do a skill, go to the next one, do a skill, go to the next one, do a skill. Okay. Then you have another athlete who has worked their tail off. They have had struggle and challenge, and they have worked hard, and they have done the extra reps. They have put in the time. They have taken ownership over their development, and they are not willing to give up when things get hard. Who would you want on your team? I know I really appreciate someone who has perseverance and who can stick around and work hard when things get really tough. Okay, that is a solid athlete. That's not only a good athlete, that makes for an amazing person and a tough person in your sport and out. That's an amazing quality. Okay, don't put that down. Don't ignore that fact that makes you so powerful if you've been through challenges. It doesn't make you weak, and it doesn't mean something's wrong with you. Okay, so just something to consider. This is not true. If you have a mental block or a struggle or a challenge that you're dealing with, absolutely try out. Why not? All right. Next, if I feel nervous, it means I'm going to mess up. Our brain, remember, we talked about this. Your brain is designed to keep you safe. Thinking about good things, that's not going to hurt you. Thinking about potential bad things can hurt you. That's why your brain thinks about that. Don't fall. Don't mess up. What if we don't make the team? What if they don't like me? What if the coaches don't choose me, right? What if I get put on a team, a lower team than I feel like I deserve? Okay. All of that kind of thinking, that's all bad stuff. Okay. And not that it's bad, but your brain views it as this is not good for you. This could harm you in some way. So we're going to think about this stuff so you can be prepared and you can be on the lookout, right? It doesn't think about the good stuff because the good stuff isn't dangerous for you. That is your natural, just primitive way of thinking. Okay. It's not always helpful to think that way. So your nerves, it's actually a sign that your brain is working and doing what it is designed to do, which is keep you safe. But you can absolutely say, thank you, brain, for trying to keep me safe, but I'm good. I'm going to choose to think about all the good things that can happen. This is an opportunity for me. All right. You get to switch that mindset around. And that is another thing that we help our athletes do is to recognize those thought patterns that are hurting them, right? Or that are it's trying to be helpful, but it's not. It's not going to help you perform your best. And to replace it with more helpful patterns of thinking. That's one thing that we do as mental coaches. But yeah, absolutely. If you feel nervous, it is not a sign that something bad is going to happen. It means your brain is working. Okay. And you can choose to turn those nerves into something that's going to be really helpful. Okay. Nerves into excitement. That's what you want. All right. And you don't know what's going to happen, right? We have no way of telling. And we're not going to allow nerves to make us assume that bad things are going to happen. Next, the tryout deadline is coming up and I'm running out of time. All right, parents, this is something that I get asked a lot. Is it helpful to use a deadline or use tryout date as encouragement? No, it is not, ever. All right, thinking about the deadline is only going to add pressure and stress and fear, and it's going to make the practices leading up to tryouts harder. And if you're still competing, it's going to make that harder too, right? You're not going to work. If you have to go out of your way to spend time working on challenging skills to prepare them for tryouts, if you feel a lot of fear and pressure around working on those skills because of everything else, and that timeline is just ticking down and you've got competition you could choose to focus on instead, you're going to opt for the easy way. You're not going to go and put in that necessary effort to work on those skills that you need for tryouts. Because why would you? There's so much pressure and it's a hard thing, right? That's what deadlines and what focusing on the date does. Okay. It adds stress. It's not helpful. The only time it is helpful if you're using it to strategize. All right, 6 weeks until tryouts. That means that these are the skills we need, right? Or we want, we're going to work towards. So we're going to break that down and we're going to get into action. We're going to come up with a plan that is tactical, that doesn't put pressure on us, that it's helpful, and it's structured to build physical and mental game skills. All right. That is when it is helpful, but most of the time that is not what it is used for. All right. So be very careful with this. This is something that feels so true, right? It's like, oh, I'm running out of time. The truth is you have all the time that you need and all the energy you need to walk into tryouts feeling so confident and prepared. That is what's true. But when you focus on the deadline and you have patterns of thinking like this that are not helpful, you're not going to make progress and you're not going to have the confidence you need. All right. So let's accept this as false thinking error, not helpful, and let's replace it with something more helpful. All right, so here's how this works. Why am I talking to you about all of these thinking errors? Because once you know that they're there, they lose their power over you. Okay, you're going to recognize them when they're happening in real time, and you can choose a more helpful way of thinking. That's how mental coaching works. We talk about these things so you can recognize when they're happening and you can make a change. You can interrupt those thinking patterns that are ingrained and do something that's more helpful and more effective. So what is that? What is the truth? Here are 5 positive affirmations to feel confident and ready for tryout. So here are some beliefs that I want you to consider adopting, okay? You can take them word for word, or you can take what's helpful for you, change up the wording, or you can use your workbook and come up with your very own. You don't have to take any of these, but here's some great examples of some really healthy mindsets that are going to make you boost your confidence, build that trust, and really get prepared for an amazing tryout. I'm prepared and capable of handling this tryout. This is my opportunity to shine. So let's look at the words there. I'm prepared, capable, opportunity, shine. Just think about how those words make you feel. It's like, that's inspiring. That's motivating. That gives me energy and excitement. Okay. Words are so powerful. And your thoughts, those are internal words, right? Your thoughts, they are so powerful. And the words that you use are powerful. So let's be very careful with how we choose to use our words and thoughts, right? Again, one of the things that we love to do for our athletes that we work with as a mental coach, we help our athletes recognize when they are using words, phrases, and patterns of thinking that are holding them back. And they don't even realize it most of the time. All right. This is a great one. Next, the talent of others has nothing to do with mine. My unique talents and hard work set me apart. It's not that you're different, so you're not good enough. It's you're different, so that's a strength. That'll help you stand out, and that'll help you achieve some amazing things. You're going to inspire others. It's not that it means something bad or others are looking negatively. It's that you're inspiring others with your commitment and working through challenges and working hard to prepare yourself for being really confident on tryout day. What else? I'm an amazing cheerleader and person. I will show my best self and grow from this experience. And I would love to add at the end of there, no matter what. Okay. Again, amazing cheerleader and an amazing person, right? Sometimes we forget that it's not just about what we have on the mat. It's the type of person that you are. If you are someone who is a great friend, you have you have integrity. You do the things you say you're going to do. That matters so much. I want those people on my team who are just good people. They care about doing a good job. They care about others. They want to do their best, right? That's just who you are as a person. That's not just you as an athlete, right? So I'm an amazing person. I'm going to show up as my best self. So looking at the good things that are to come. And I'm going to grow, looking at progress from this experience. It's not a deadline or judgment. It's an experience that you get to have. Cheerleading is more than just tumbling. I will have fun showing off all of my skills with confidence and a smile. Okay. When was the last time that you thought about prepping for tryouts as fun? It needs to be fun. Who are you trying out for? Is someone making you try out? I hope not. I hope you're trying out because you love this sport and you're excited to see what you're capable of, the growth that is ahead for you and the opportunities. That's what this helps you do. I will have fun showing off all of my skills with confidence and a smile. Next, nerves means something exciting is about to happen. The nerves are a good thing. I will use them to fuel my focus and prepare for a great tryout. Okay? Something exciting is about to happen. I will fuel my focus. So focus is a mental game skill that you can control. Okay? There are tools and strategies we teach our athletes to master their focus and prepare for a great tryout. You can prepare for a great tryout. You can put yourself in an amazing position to do really, really well on the day of tryouts. Absolutely. Okay? You got this. You can absolutely do this. I hope this was helpful today. Don't go anywhere. So here's what I want to share with you. I am inviting you to a special opportunity. I am hopeful that you took some learnings from today and you're like, wow, it made my brain wiggle. I'm going to really think about how I'm thinking and really challenge some beliefs that I've got going on so that I can really put myself in the best position to shine on the day of tryouts. I know you want to be confident. I know it. I know you want to do well. And I know that you care about doing a good job. But I want to help you and I want to give you the tools and strategies that you need to actually accomplish the things that you want to in time for tryouts. So here's what I've done. I have created a challenge. I have a 5-day challenge that is coming up. It is opening up on Sunday, March, let's see, what's the date? I think the 23rd. Sunday, March 23rd, going forward, it will be available to you. So if you're listening to this before then, you can sign up and just hold tight. Okay. You can go ahead and engage in our private athlete community while you wait. Or if it's after that date, it is available and it is ready for you to jump in and get started today. All right. But it is a 5-day training. So we've got a 5-day challenge. You're going to create your tryout success plan. All right. You are going to shift your focus to release fear. These are all of the things we're going to help you do for tryouts. Embrace a success mindset with the formula for success. You're going to master your tryout confidence. You're going to trade the deadline pressure for a practice plan, and you're going to turn nerves into excitement. So this is a 5-day challenge. Okay. It's called Confident and Ready Tryout Challenge. Here are all the things that we're going to do. We have a workbook for you to create your own tryout success plan. We are going to literally teach you how to focus. We're going to teach you the formula for success for how to approach every single skill to put you in the best possible position to be prepared and ready with everything you need for the day of tryouts. We're going to help you master your confidence because confidence is a skill that you can control. You can choose to step into it, and we're going to teach you how. You can trade the deadline pressure for a plan. So don't worry about the deadline. Use the deadline, create a plan, okay? And then forget about the deadline and just show up every day and do your plan. You'll know exactly what to do every single practice. And then you can turn nerves into excitement. Do you want to be excited for tryouts or do you want to be nervous? All right, here's how. Join us. It's only $35 for the whole challenge. And you know what? Here's the link to join. Not only is it $35, but we're going to drop that down $25 today. All right, so $25, 5-day challenge. Use the code training at checkout. You will learn all of these things. We will walk you through step by step, and you are going to walk away at the end of that challenge with your tryout plan to walk in so confident and so ready to crush the day, no matter what. Also, we're going to give you a bonus training for how to prepare the day of. So it's a day of. So what do you do the night before? What do you do the morning of? What do you do before you walk in to be mentally and physically your best, to have the best possible tryouts that you could ever imagine? That's what we're going to give you. All right. So $25 if you go ahead and sign up within the next 24 hours. Make sure that you use the code training. Next, here's the link again. Click the button below, mgpcoach.com/tryout. Ready. But until I see you next time, just remember your journey from self-doubt to trust and confidence, it is only just beginning. Tryouts, they may feel scary, but they're an opportunity to show what you're made of. You are so strong. You are talented. You are fully capable of giving it your all, and you absolutely have got this. We would love to help you take that next step.